3 quick hacks on how to increase your energy levels. Some of these you may not have considered before. So let's start with nutrition. If and when your body flips into burning fat as a fuel, you'll find your energy can become very steady, very consistent, and very good throughout the day. If it's fighting that and it's not going into using it as a fuel, then you'll often find your energy is not as good as it should be. So to train or retrain your body, if you will, back into being able to utilize fat as a fuel, a good, either strict, tight, high-fat diet can retrain it, literally in a matter of days. Now, that can seem a long time, but if you've been spending decades eating a certain way and your body fighting it, 3 days isn't very long to retrain your body to do something. Equally, the intermittent fasting that people do can also help this. In the last couple of hours, between hours about 14 and 16, the body is switching into utilizing that fat, converting the fat into a fat that is readily available for energy. So intermittent fasting or a high fat diet for a short period of time to retrain your body back into it can make all the difference in the world in the long term. Exercise. Oh my gosh, my absolute favorite thing to do is simply around about 3 or 4 o'clock, do a very quick burst of short, high intensity training. Now, this can be weight training. It can be 5, 10, 15 minutes, proper weight training. Equally, it might just be 1 to 2 minutes of freestanding squats or press ups. It seems to re-kick all the hormonal balance, the circulation, the heart goes up, but it's not so long and so intense that you drain the body of energy. It's almost like you're rebooting it. You're plugging yourself in, getting a reboot, and it lifts you for the rest of the day, as opposed to a long walk, which can be absolutely lovely, but often you may feel more tired afterwards than reinvigorated. And last but not least, in terms of supplements, my few favorites, it's worth considering your protein intake. Casein protein shakes can be very, very helpful for stamina and staying power, if you will, as opposed to a quick energy burst. You find your day-to-day stamina is better. Reducing the sugar generally in the diet will make a big, big difference, because that can obviously give you a high, then a low, and that's where you get that energy dip. And the casein can also help replace that sugar, if you will. Creatine is very good for, again, sustainable energy and mental energy. It helps produce ATP, molecules which literally give us our energy, particularly when we're training, but also help our brain functioning, again, particularly as we get older. So the creatine can be very good for stamina. And last but not least, it's worth considering iron levels. If iron levels drop, it's very hard to get your energy levels back up no matter what you do. And they can be recovered, if you will, naturally through foods. And by naturally, I mean just by what you're eating. Just quite frankly, for those who eat meat, good red meat will often do the trick. Leafy greens can be helpful without question. Chlorella, things like that can be helpful. And equally, just a very good iron supplement. My favorite is always hemoglobin iron, which is an organic form that the body can use, and you get a result within days rather than within weeks and months in terms of recalibrating the iron. There you have it. Consider a high fat diet for a short period, or at the very least bring in intermittent fasting, and over time that'll train your body back into being able to burn fat as a fuel. Move into short, high-intensity training. It gives a lift, and I find particularly if you do that during that energy slump, if you like, in the afternoon, it reboots the body for the rest of the day. It's better than going for the tea and the cake at that time, and it works way, 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 way better. And consider supplements that will help sustain you for longer. Now, there's so many out there. The ones I've mentioned are ones that are particularly good for sustainable energy. Your casein proteins, and that, as I said, is wonderful for replacing the sugars. The creatine is very good for general stamina, day-to-day stamina and staying power. And last but not least, in the sort of mineral department, if you like, is our iron levels. If iron drops, it is very hard to get energy levels up. You need enough, you don't need too much, but you need enough for the body to get the oxygen around, the blood to get the oxygen around the body and to sustain your energy on a daily basis. So it's worth considering meat, dark leafy greens, and quite frankly, good supplements. As I said, hemoglobin iron is my favorite for that one.